What do you think are the tools and techniques, Lisa, that perhaps you take away from the book and maybe from our time together? But what are the tools and techniques that you remember particularly?
So my interaction with you, obviously, Sarah, kind of the more one-on-one sessions we had centered on nerves, really. And even though people would tell me that they couldn't necessarily tell that I was nervous when I was speaking, inside would be absolute chaos going on. So I would get shakes, I would get the butterflies in my stomach. I'd sometimes start to feel physically sick, and that could make you feel like you're going to mess up your words. Things aren't going to come out right. I'd feel like I was speaking with a kind of a dry throat, you know, almost literally choking on my words. And so the techniques and things that I take, that I use all of the time still, are around how to calm your physical self. So squeezing my hands under the table is a great one. So, you know, I'm doing that now and nobody needs to know, do they? But it allows me to kind of sort of gives you something to kind of focus on, to get those jitters out. Things like practicing using your vocal cords before you start to speak. So I would do the humming, or try to use the tongue twisters that we used to do on some of the courses we did together, to try to kind of get myself used to speaking freely. And again, for me, I'm easily distracted, so anything I can do that takes my mind away from thinking, oh my goodness, I'm about to say something, or what if it goes wrong, or am I completely prepared, and make me think more about becoming prepared for that, really, really helped me focus. One that I think was a real pet hate for lots of people as a receiver of presentations or speeches is people that ramble, go on too long, use, you know, death by PowerPoint or whatever. And so one that I love, and I know lots of our colleagues love, is the rule of three. So it seems like such a simple thing, but yeah, I had never ever been told that before. And so now the whole, you know, try to make 3 key messages, 3 key points, and that's really the not the limit of people's ability to take in, but certainly a nice size chunk of information for somebody to take in and actually remember what you said and why it was important. So those would be the key takeaways for me.
No, that's great, because the rule of 3, which you may or may not remember in the book, it actually comes from the rule of Greek rhetoric. So it's kind of, you know, zillions of years ago, it was devised by the Greeks that people could only take on 3 main messages at once and remember them. And that doesn't mean 3 things, as you remember, Lisa. It's actually 3 messages. So it might be past, present, and future, for example, or it could be what can Lisa Hogben offer you, you know, in her unique selling points. And they might be friendliness, expertise, yes, and not travel knowledge, shall we say. And those 3 things you can talk about at length. So it's not just 3 facts, it is 3 main messages, so people can compartmentalize it. So that's really good that you raised that. Funnily enough, actually David Yass mentioned it in Shine the other day. For those of you who don't know, Shine is a networking event at the Nichols Group, where I work as an associate and where Lisa was for 3.5 years. So good. Thanks for that, Lisa. Thanks. And yeah, for some of those stage fright things are really important. I'm always saying to people, you know, it's not everybody has stage fright, even CEOs, and they might not admit it and they might look okay, but actually inside, you know, they're feeling sick, or they've got butterflies, or they're sweating. And we have to address those things, and often people don't.